What's up guys, welcome to my music studio tour of 2023. This is a long time coming and I've just got a little slot in the day where I can actually do some filming, and I'd love to show you around the studio and let me know what you think by placing comments and likes and feedback in the comment section below. Let's get started with the room tour. Okay, so welcome to the room tour here. Got a spare room in the garage which I've utilized as a music studio. It is not like completely, utterly spot clean. It's kind of it's a natural environment where I've set up like a live section here. I've got a gig coming up in a few days, so I sometimes like to just set everything up, make sure that they're all running, and pack it down, get it ready for the gig kind of thing. So let me just start off with that kind of section here, because that's kind of a bit of fun, letting you know some of the things that I use for live. So this is a TC Helicon Perform V, which I use on my vocals. Currently not connected to a microphone, of course, but I usually use a SM78 by Shure. This gives me harmonies, sort of, what else? Effects, reverbs, echoes, that kind of thing, megaphone effect, that kind of thing, double up vocals, and it's really cool that it's on a mic stand because I can just push it within arm's reach. This is, of course, the DJ 505, which I actually found at a thrift store for, I want to say, $200. It didn't come with a power brick or anything like that, but I had one spare. So these go for a lot more, obviously. So I picked this up at a really cool bargain. This one, of course, I picked up as a good bargain as well. And what I use for this, so I've just kind of recently been implementing this into the live setup. But I put that into, I actually split the left and right into two different channels, so that regardless of what I'm mixing, say I'm playing a song, I can go to the other channel and muck around with synthesizers. I can cue what I'm playing first, so make sure I'm pressing the right buttons and pressing the right melody and notes before it goes live, so that's pretty cool. And all the effects like filter and delays and everything can be affected on the actual synthesizer as well. And it's just a bit of fun to add a bit of live element to a DJ set. This is the Roland FA06. I've been switching around my main piano for live, and I sometimes use the Roland Go because of its lightweight nature. The Juno stage, if I've got time to set up a proper piano, because it's got things like USB stick and stuff, so if I want to put backing tracks. But this is pretty cool as well because it's pretty lightweight. But what I do with this one is I put the DJ decks into the audio input, and I can play piano on top as well, so that way these kind of three can be treated as one output. Speaking of mixer, this is not the conventional way of using this device, but this is the this is the Rodecaster Pro 2, which I actually use as a glorified mixer. Now, the thing I like about using this as a mixer is you can use the effects and everything that's built inside, and you can also record your set, which is exactly what I do. I upload all my sets to my website, and that's pretty cool. And sometimes, just for fun, I use the sound pads for sound effects, like air horns and things like that, which is pretty fun. Okay, so in terms of my headphones, let's go here and use the Audio Technica. See the Audio Technica here. I have about 2 or 3 of these, just because I love them so much. A film guy got me onto this headphones, and I've never looked back. Boss RC600. Let's go down here. This is a foot pedal for looper, and then you've also got the sustain pedal there as well. This is my main axe, only because it's got self-tuning tuners inside, so it's like having my own road tech, and it gives me perfect tuning every time. So that's the Epiphone with the mini tune robotic tuner. And if over here I'm playing around with the Chaos Pad Quad 4. I'm not going to be using this live, but I was just playing around with it, this setup. Reason I'm not going to use it live is it introduces a slight 3 millisecond delay, and I haven't been able to fix that, so I'm not going to use it live, just playing around with it. Otherwise, pretty cool effects pedal thing. Of course, the Mac M1 I use as my main driving horse, and I use Serato DJ. That's one of my speakers that I use depending on the venue, but that's the Thump Go, Mac Go. Over here, I'm not going to bore you too much with all these details, but there's little knickknacks and little bits of gear here and there as well. Notable mention with this one as well is I also use this Handsonic Live as well. I just haven't got it set up right now, but I use that for added percussion elements to the live setup. Okay, so here let's just quickly put the elephant in of the room is actually the drum kit. I was doing a recording session one time with a session muso, and he brought this one in, and I really fell in love with its compact size, of course. So, and it's got a really cool sound as well. It's got the K hi-hat, and everything else is stock essentially. Roland SPD-20, which I found secondhand for added digital percussion, and there's a Chaos Pad in the ground there. Again, there's stuff that's kind of lying around because I do actively use this room to record and stuff. So it's kind of, yeah, I could have been really like nitpicky and made everything really super duper clean, but to be honest, most of us musicians, we just always playing with stuff, and you know what I mean. So Korg Trinity is a keyboard there at the bottom. Roland JP8000, which are excellent deal from a local guy, and really cool for trance. The Roland D50, which by far, by the way, for all you young kids getting into boutique, the compact Roland boutique stuff, it doesn't beat this. This is the real deal. Black Star amplifier as well right there. And yeah, let's just kind of move around the room. If there's anything that catches your eye, you want me to go into further detail, just let me know for future videos. There's a really cool Nord keyboard there just hanging out, and the JD, this is the Roland Boutique series I was telling you about. I've got a couple of these, but that's the JD08. Now recently I had a friend over, and he was pointing out the fact that if I wanted to record vocals, there wasn't really anywhere dry to get a dry vocal booth, and we started playing around, and obviously because we were in our garage, we had all these things that we could hang up blankets and stuff. That's exactly what we did, and it's actually pretty cool, and it sounds really nice in there if you are recording vocals. Like, it sounds nice and treated. I was really surprised with what we got away with. Over here are some knickknacks in terms of like really cool like toys and keyboards and synthesizers, looping pedal and stuff like that. A lot of these toys I got from thrift stores. Over here I'm also into gaming, so there's a Sonic collection of I forget what they're called, but yeah, they hold your controllers. And this arcade is really fun. I still fire it on every now and then. It's got thousands of games. Over here is my modest sort of gaming collection of PlayStation and Nintendo, and that's really fun to kind of revisit on when I've got a better downtime. There's obviously some controllers and pedals and all sorts of goodness down there. There's a sub there that's connected to the television and the PreSonus speakers as well. Now the microphone you're seeing here, it's called a Vanguard, I believe, but anyways, the microphone is connected to that preamp, which is also connected to this Imperial Labs preamp here with compression. And the thing I like about that is it's within arm's reach. See, I've got my own headphones kind of volumes there, but that is also, I've tried it out, is in line with what I use Logic. So if I'm sort of recording myself, I can still see the waveform from the vocal booth, which is really fun. Over here are a couple of microphones that I have. I have a bit of a mic collection, everything from what I might need for drum kits to bass to vocals, guitars, all sorts. I used to be a signed recording artist, so a lot of this gear I obtained while I was with the label, and it just slowly grew, especially as you find deals at thrift stores and secondhand stuff as well. This rack gear was really, the frame was donated to me from a good friend of mine who used to work in the film industry, and they were having a clear out and they had no one that wanted this sort of rack technologies unit, and my friend immediately thought of me, and that was just a really nice gesture to kind of still use that and give it life. Over here is a lot of Sega Master System with, by the way, the all the games in the cartridge here. Every game is loaded into an SD card there. Couple of preamps, and also there's the 11 guitar effects thing there. There's a Access Virus synthesizer, compressor, and I really like running instruments and stuff like this before it hits my digital audio workstation. It just has a nice sort of vintage vibe when you do that. Korg M1 keyboard right here, which is really cool. So I've recently just patched everything in this section all the way to this mixing desk. Again, an awesome thrift store find for like $200. No, it was like $190. It was really cheap, and everything is working. So you obviously get a bit of analog hiss when you're running a mixer, but I don't mind that too much because it just gives it an extra analog character. I have a couple of synths patched up to every channel, which I can layer, multi-layer if needed, and all that sort of good fun stuff. This is a really awesome prized possession, this Kemper here. The reason being is there's a community online that gives you all sorts of tones, all the tones you could ever need, and you can load it up on your rig manager, and which I'll show you in a moment. So here is the rig manager, and I usually bring this up onto my third monitor up here, and I can see kind of load up the rigs in real time. I'm still playing around with it still, and it's just you can kind of get lost with that. Over here, the reason why I put this patch bay right here is it's all within arm's reach of this console. So for example, if I wanted added delays and stuff, I can put the lexicon faders up here and utilize the effects here. So that's really cool that I've done that, and it's within arm's reach. Denon DJ deck there, which I sometimes use for gigs. Sometimes I might need to provide music for multiple rooms, and I'll have a playlist playing in one room and me playing live. Couple of synthesizers there, and also you'll see a Focusrite preamp there, which is nice on synths. But yes, some of my prized sort of rack gear synthesizers are showing there as well, including a Roland TB3 for all the, classic acid sounds. Another one of these Roland Boutiques. I've got a couple else in storage as well, but I might go through my collection at some point. Resolve RXA6 is by Samson. I've never had to kind of want to upgrade any further than that because I like the ribbon tweeters. It's really cool if you're listening to audio for long periods. It's not very fatiguing if you do so. This is a gift from my wife, the Claret 4 Pre, which is really cool. Reason what sold me on it is obviously some of the independent musicians I follow. That's kind of all they use. It's got really good IOs and with MIDI and audio, all in one box. UAD satellite. Now I know UAD have made all their plugins native now, but it's still nice to have the satellite because it uses the extra horsepower of the plugins and not my internal CPU. Now, notable mention is the console fader, which I really like the soft tube sort of system there with the soft tube. So it's really good. It gives you nice EQs and faders and everything. It makes it feel like you're working with a console. This is my podcast station here. The microphone that I use mainly for podcasts is the SM7B, and this is plugged into the Roland one as well. I sometimes switch it with the Rodecaster Pro 2, but because I've got the Rodecaster 1 and the 2 over there for live, this one kind of lives in the studio. A couple of microphones that we've been using recently. I've got a bit of mic collection, but that's the Vanguard one that's currently installed now, and probably one of my prized microphone possessions is obviously the Neumann. I'm lucky to have that. Now here is a PC gaming which I use as a glorified table sometimes. I'm not sure if I should be doing that, but sometimes I plonk a MIDI keyboard on top. And of course this one here I found as a freebie. When I was thrifting, they were just giving it away. I tried to boot it up. It doesn't actually have an internal hard drive. So now it's currently being used as a glorified sort of like tabletop, but I will try and revive it at some point. Couple of pedals down there as well, and since I have a son, his nappy wipes, of course, he sometimes lives in the man cave as well, so it's nice to have those on hand. And a couple of pedals as well, which I won't bore you with. So over here is, I call it like my keyboard section. So the MK6 is really cool. Really unique sound. Now this Yamaha PS55 I found for $30. Again, it had no power cable, but I was really nervous about buying it because it might not have worked. It's from the early 80s. Sure enough, it did work, which is awesome. This is the Juno stage I was talking about it here. The iPad, which I sometimes use for backing tracks or lyrics live. Currently, I'll try and fix up this little section, but it's currently powering up and charging a couple of my cameras and wireless microphones that I film with. And there's more keyboards there. Shock horror. There's a pile of noodly cables in the ground there because I recently tried to grab a cable which I needed. So usually it's a lot nicer, but you know, this is a working space. A couple of guitars that I really like, everything from acoustic to electric, hollow, and also bass guitars as well. Believe it or not, I used to have a larger collection, but I couldn't justify it. So here are a couple of books on top of this piano. This piano used to be my in-laws, and thank you for them donating it to me. But my in-laws' grandparents used to own this, and the story was they were never allowed to touch it. And it's really cool to play with, and also my son plays on it as well. And yeah, it's a really nice addition. Now, it is in perfect tuning, but it's like a semi-tone down. So at some point, I'll get a piano tuner to come along and fix that. But otherwise, there's a few other knickknacks around the studio. But that is a quick guide for 2023. Let me know if you like the studio tour and if you'd like me to delve into anything in closer inspection. By the way, notable mention, a lot of these consoles I still use, like the PlayStation and stuff. Really like the PS2 library as well for gaming, which I sometimes do as well. There's also another older mini Mac that's plugged into that TV as well that we just use as a computer source for playing videos and stuff. That is pretty much the studio for 2023. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you enjoy your day. My name is Ralphie. You can check me out at kiwiradio.nz or Ralphie, which is spelled RALPHE.co.nz. Alright, take care.